Hi everyone. I'm very concerned about young Spray. I don't know him personally, but I'm sure everyone's seen the footage of him and a bunch of guys in some commotion on the high street in broad daylight, and someone pulls out a gun and they're going up and down, left and right, all over the place, in and out of the red buses. You know, there's a woman walking past with her child on a scooter or something. Um, and it's like someone pulls out a gun. So the point of this video is, what is the future of RTM? First of all, let's go into the positives and the negative of RTM. First of all, we have to give Spray credit because I don't think anyone saw Spray going into the podcasting world. Yeah. And one thing is that I don't know whether, I think Spray is a lot smarter than a lot of people think he is, but he also has this issue, this issue that we'll talk about later. That's going to be life-threatening for him. The reason why I believe that Spray is a lot smarter than people think he is because anyone could start a podcast, and Spray went into the podcasting field with no experience from rapping. Yeah, he went to the podcasting experience, and anyone can start a podcast. But what you have to give Spray, whether you like him or you hate him, is that he's consistent. Yeah, and consistency is where most people fail. If you look at people like Michael Jordan and Kobe and stuff, a lot of them say they're not the best. It's not that they were the best. And they said it's not that they're the most talented. It's that they just no one could outwork them. Their work ethic. So I believe 9 out of 10 people, when Spray started this podcast, yeah, they just thought, Spray is a road man. He's not going to be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This podcast is going to last few weeks, and then he's not going to post regularly. So you have to admit that Spray had no experience in the podcasting thing. He became consistent, and whether you liked it or not, he was all over that algorithm. Even if he wasn't interested in young Spray. Some people's work ethic is going to make them appear in your algorithm whether you want to or not. For example, Piers Morgan, whether you hate him or like him, Piers Morgan, what he did, his work ethic and his algorithm basically knocked out all the other news channels, because normally before, a lot of you are a bit young, so you don't know what it's like without social media. But before we grew up, there was like 4 channels, and you got your news from, either BBC or ITV or this, that, and the other. What Piers Morgan did, he came on, he was consistent, and he made it so that in your algorithm, his videos kept on popping up, and that became like the news. Like, if you want to find out things on a political level or international level, it will come in your algorithm, whether you wanted it to or not. And then the way he did it, he outstamped ITV, BBC, Channel 4, this, that. So he's the kind of like, if you want to know what's going on in the news world, or the mainstream, news world, you just click on a Piers Morgan video. Yeah. So one of the pros about Spray is his consistency. So you have to give it to him. But what I'm concerned about with Spray is that if you see the picture that's in the middle of this thumbnail, it's actually cut off of Spray when he was in the hospital. After he got stabbed up at the wood show, he was in the bed and he had his 2 fingers up. He had his 2 fingers stuck up in like a gun gesturing manner. So basically, after he got stabbed up and he nearly died and he nearly lost his life, Spray put his 2 fingers up with a gun sign, like saying violence. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you back, or I'm a bad boy. And the reality of the situation is that Spray, you making it through getting stabbed up, like basically it was from God. You don't need to. People, for some reason, people think that you have to get stabbed in the heart to die. People get stabbed in their leg. People get stabbed in their arm and they die. So this whole thing about getting stabbed, and making it, just like 50 Cent dying, getting shot 9 times. The fact that he made it through, it wasn't to do with 50 Cent. It wasn't to do with Spray that you survived. Just that God had mercy on you. Some people get stabbed, shot in a least vital place. And I think Spray got stabbed all over his body. So when you get shot or stabbed and you make it through, it's nothing you did. It wasn't your mental or you that made, you tense your muscles and you made it through. Now what I'm afraid, one of the reasons why RTM podcast is one of the most watched podcasts, there's 2 main features of why RTM is that the most watched podcast. One of the reasons is that most of us, when we're having conversations with people, we have this little voice in our head, our conscience, that when you're trying to get a message across, you think about how, say you're trying to make a point to a person, you're speaking to them and you're trying to make a point and you think about how can you make this point to this person, get them to understand, and also at the same time not put them down or make them feel stupid about what they're saying. Or you have this thing called wisdom, where you want to get your message across. You don't want to hurt anyone's feelings really, and you just want them to understand where you're coming from. Spray his conscience with that voice, that tells you don't say this. It's not appropriate, or don't say it this way. It might offend their feelings. Spray's one don't work with, so Spray's one stop working. So Spray could be speaking to someone. Spray could be speaking to someone who's got, how can I say someone got a sexually transmitted disease, and they're activists about why you shouldn't sleep around, all this, that, the other, and so forth. and they're trying to spread awareness for why it's not good to have sleep around and whatever. Like, and they got AIDS or something, yeah. Like Spray will say something to them like, are you screwing that you're gonna die soon? like, like, like that voice, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Also, or something, you know what I'm saying? Like that tells you like to be delicate in a situation when you're talking to someone about a sensitive issue. Spray's one stopped working a long time ago, so he's got the reason why people like watching um, RTM. One of the main reasons is because Spray has no filter, and he doesn't. I don't think Spray doesn't. He either doesn't care, or he doesn't know when he's offending people. And what is that it's very rare that you meet someone in life, yeah, who gets the chance to interview people, or speak to people, or watch a conversation where a person just has he has no self awareness of how he's upsetting a person, or how he's or how rude he's coming across. And people like watching it because it's just like, how far is Spray gonna go? Is Spray gonna start making this person start crying, or is this person gonna start walking off stage? So that's one of the reasons why people watch RTM. Another reason why people watch RTM is because, and this is why I think is life threatening to Spray's life, and on a serious note, might get him killed. Spray, the way RTM stays in the algorithm is by Spray beefing everybody, beefing the host on his show, beefing his co-hosts, beefing other people that are in the algorithm, like Bouncer, a Clue, and whoever's in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? So, but the problem is with Sprays that I don't think that road thing where he's just like, you know what I'm saying? Boy, I'm gonna go to my man's ends. I don't think he's learned the lesson from getting stabbed up. The fact that Spray, the fact that that footage come out that we all saw where he's got, where him and a bunch of men in broad daylight, you know what I'm saying, and one of them pulls out a gun and sprays like walking towards him and then walking away from him and then running going in and out of the buses in broad daylight. Spray, bro. At the age of what is it? You're between 40 and 50. Like there should be no situation here, bro, where you're having incident with people and guns, bruv. I don't know if you're out of the hood or you're out of the ends or whatever, or this, that, and the other. But even if you're not, bro, you should be in a situation where you do not socialize. You're not socializing around people with guns, knives, or like this should be in your past, bro. I think all when we were younger, and if you grew up in a council estate, yeah, you used to get stopped by police regularly. And I believe 50% of it was the way you walk around, you know what I'm saying, the way you carry yourself and this, that, and the other. And some of it was just police racism, you know what I'm saying? But at the age, once you get past the age of your early 20s or your mid 20s and stuff like that, like in general, maybe, you know what I'm saying, if you're driving like a nice car or whatever or so forth, or, you know what I'm saying, yeah, or maybe once in a blue moon, you might get stopped. But generally, whether you came from a council estate or not, whether you live in a council estate or not, in general, as you get older and you start working or running your business or doing your trade or whatever, for some the for some reason, like you don't get stopped by the police regularly. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is that your company should change as well, you know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't be in a situation where you're even around people that are carrying guns and knives and stuff like that. Like, these people shouldn't be a part of your circle. And you shouldn't be getting into beef with people. Like, why are you still having beef with people in like your 40s, bro? Like, why you can't still be having beef over ends, or I'm from this postcode, you're from that postcode, like in your 40s and stuff. It's just like, it's nonsense, bro. Like, we should have nothing to beef about, man. Like, what's the beef about? Either something, is it? I don't know what the situation is, why why the person pulled out a gun on spray. But the thing is that you're, you should be out of the roads, bro. No one is hanging about on a council estate no more. You know what I'm saying? You're doing your podcast. I heard Spray's like son is in private school, so you got things to be proud about. You got things to lose, bro. When you're young, bro, and you're living in your mum's house, you got nothing to lose, so you don't mind going in and out of jail because you're not gonna lose your flat, you're not gonna lose anything. You can just come out, go back to your mum's house. Well, you got to start having your own place and this, that, and the other, and so forth, and you're working or you got a business or you doing your trade. You can't go in and out of jail. You end up losing your place. You know what I'm saying? Your business goes downhill. You know what I'm saying? All stuff. You lose your job. You like. People in the youth can go in and out of jail because they just come out, go back into their mum's yard, you know what I'm saying, and they ain't got nothing going on, so they don't really care because they've got nothing to lose. But when you got kids and stuff, bro, your kid can't be in private school and then you're on CCTV, bro, like chasing a man up and down, and one next man's pulling out gun on you, bro. It's just. And I'm afraid, because I don't know if that beef came from podcasting, but whatever the reason is, you shouldn't be in no conversation or disputes with anyone for them to be pulling out a gun on you, bro. And the problem is if you keep RTM going by if you keep RTM going by just beefing with everyone, beefing with different podcasts, beefing with different rappers, beefing with different old gang members, sooner or later, it's gonna catch up with you. Spray, I wish you the best, and just talk about sometimes I think Spray should just talk about subjects that advise people, like, for example, explain to people about how you went from rapping to the podcast and how to keep consistent and all the skills and how you got in the algorithm and what you're doing is marketing, Spray. Like, explain to the youth like how you can go from having no experience at all in a field and then basically become one of the most visible people in it. Because it's a big achievement, bro. But it's what you do with it. You have knowledge of that. You have knowledge of how, you know, you know, how to make a successful podcast, and explain to it how you came from a person with no education or no college degree in marketing or media, how you got one of the biggest podcasts. Anyway, peace, I'm out.